Welcome back to Discovery Superpower. This is episode 2, and today we're going to talk about how we are going to deal with rejection and feeling like a failure, really.
Mhm.
Together with me today, I am Mads, and I have Tyler with me. Hello, Tyler.
Hello, Mads. How are you?
I'm good. It's the middle of today. It's very sunny, and it's a good time to talk about depressing things.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
Yeah. It's sunny at your place as well, it looks like.
Yeah. It's 9 in the morning here, and I got my lighting set up. Everything's all set, but it's the sun is in and out, so hopefully it ends up staying out for the rest of the day. But if it doesn't, we'll keep
Does it
moving
get
forward.
hot?
It gets hot. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
91. I know we're in Fahrenheit. You guys are in Celsius, right?
Yeah. But I
Yes.
I have talked to enough American to know that that is hot.
Yeah. 91 is a bit on the hot side. Yeah.
So actually on that topic, like I'm from Norway, and obviously
Yes.
Tyler's in America. And Tyler, how long have you been in Superpower for?
Since last April 2023, so about a year and 4 months, so almost a year and a half I've been with Superpower.
How has it been for you?
It's been incredible. To be honest with you, I was not sure what to expect going into a new endeavor like that, but it's been very healing for me. It's been very rewarding to see the change in the kids that I work with, and I think that feeds back. We feed off of each other basically. To see the change in them really feels rewarding to me, and hopefully when they see me being vulnerable and me talking about my story, it helps them with their story, and where they're at. So it's been incredible.
I relate to that. That's I've been doing Superpower since 2020, so 4 years.
Wow.
So it's been a journey, and like you said, it's very healing. You're meeting yourself in the door, so to say, and like, okay,
Yeah.
I relate to this kid, and in the end, you become very good friends with them as well.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
beautiful.
it's incredible. It really is. I know you were a very seasoned veteran with Superpowers.
I
So
am.
it's I heard so much about you before I even started, and it's cool that we're now buddies.
Yes, that's another cool thing about Superpower. We get close because we all share similar stories, and we know how things potentially feels. So we can help each other out as well.
Absolutely, so true.
But what do you do then? Like, what is your thing?
My thing,
Yeah.
a multitude of things. I'm a music producer, and I work with artists and brands all over the world, helping them write their music and produce it and mix it and get it out there into the world. And I'm also a really, really passionate in mental health. So I'm a mental health advocate. I have, please excuse my OCD, my podcast about living with obsessive compulsive disorder, which I have. And
Where can we
I'm
find
just
that, by the
really
way?
passionate. Obsessive compulsive disorder is basically you have obsessions and intrusive thoughts that are really, they come out of nowhere, and will have compulsions like acting out actions to negate the intrusive thoughts. So a negative intrusive thought of, oh, if I step on this crack, the cliche example is, if I step on this crack, something bad might happen. You go out of your way to avoid the crack, and it's a very debilitating disorder. It's very misunderstood, and it goes through a range of minor thoughts to incredible thoughts that can just debilitate you. So I do my best to advocate and to talk about it and to normalize it, really, so that we can get past the taboo topics and make them feel a little bit more normalized in society.
Is that also, do your mentees, do you often get matched with individuals who have OCD as well?
I do now, yes.
Yeah.
In the beginning I didn't, but now it is something that people are coming to Superpower Mentors with on the side. Aside from like learning disabilities or differences, I do have a few kids that have OCD as well.
That's good to know. Where can we find your podcast?
Everywhere. Spotify,
Everywhere.
Apple, YouTube. I think Amazon too, but the main ones you can find it for sure. Please excuse my OCD.
There you go, people. Listen to this after this. So it's a topic that I myself have to be more educated about. So I will also check it out.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
With that,
yes,
you kind of touched on it, because like all these intrusive thoughts, what happens if you don't act on them? How do you feel?
It's very debilitating to not negate them, because we want to feel a sense of control. You know, we want to feel like, you know, if I have this negative thought, I can control that it won't happen. So I'm gonna knock on the desk 3 times, or you know, I'm gonna turn the faucet on 5 times. It's a way of control, and actually, exposure response prevention is a proven way to treat OCD, and so that really teaches you to expose yourself to these thoughts and things that your fears really, and change how we respond to those thoughts by not carrying out the compulsions, which would be like, you know, knocking on wood or whatever it is that you do to relieve yourself of anxiety. So it's a really in-depth field, and a lot of it is really learning how to sit with your discomfort, and a lot of it is to learn how to sit with your intrusive thoughts and to not get involved with them, so to speak. So it's really I've lived with it my whole life, and I'm only in my 20s. I'm 30 now, but in my 20s I really started to understand it more.
It seems to be the thing with most of these diagnoses, isn't it? Like, it takes some time to understand, why are we doing the things we're doing? Why am I behaving this way? And within that, there is a lot of trials and errors, right?
Yeah. There's so much.
So much. And how would you say, like, how do you approach that? Okay, I need to explore this, but I'm afraid that I will fail.
I think that's part of the journey, is feeling like that. I think we all, to a degree, you know, have a tolerance for failure, but I think it takes us some time to find it. And I think for most of us, we don't, you know, we're raised in a world where it's, you know, sometimes it's very padded, right? And other times it's, let's throw you to the wolves, and you really can't distinguish what's going to be what, you know? And so I feel like the only antidote to that fear of failure is to continue failing. And for me, I spent years, and sometimes still do struggle with the idea of failure, whether it's in relationships, career, whether it's a new endeavor. It's scary, but I think that we often have to get ourselves into a place where we remind ourselves, hey, you failed before, or failed. Let's use it quotation marks, because really failure is a definition that we kind of have to, you know, talk about. But
actually, on that, Tyler, what is failure to you?
Failure to me now, as a 30-year-old, is I like to say that, to really put it in boundaries, it's giving up. But what is giving up? Well, giving up is kind of throwing in the towel. And I think finishing something before you're ready to finish. And that's something that, because I think that sometimes changing routes and changing your direction is healthy. I think sometimes it's okay to put something to bed and move on. But when you put something to bed and move on, you know, when you're not ready to move on, I think that could be defined as failure for some people. Like, for example, I would not have been ready to change directions at 25 with being a musician who was on the road singing for people. I did that till I was 28. And then I was like, maybe I want to, you know, take a back seat and do more things in the studio, and let that be kind of my dream that did its thing from, you know, 12 years old to 28.
That's a good, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I relate to that as well. I
Yeah.
I wanted to I want to say my perspective on it. It's kind of like
Yes.
gaming in a way,
Hmm.
because I realized very early on that I didn't do very well in school,
Hmm.
and I failed a lot. But playing games with my friends, and I was always the one that was the worst, always. But I was very lucky, very lucky. So
Yeah.
what I realized that the more I maybe it took them a week to be good, it took me a year to be good, right?
Yep.
But when I got good, I got better than them because
Yep.
I failed so many times trying to understand. Okay, what do I need to do in order to be better than them? And the balance between me being lucky, so they relied on my luck.
Yeah.
But at the
Yes.
same time, I learned that mentality of, okay, this didn't work, but next time I will do it a little bit differently.
Hmm.
So then it will, even in school, right? You remember more of the subject, but you
Yep.
don't necessarily get a better grade. What is more valuable to me? Well, I remember more, so that's a win. So for
Yep.
me, it's been very like, okay, what do I define as a win? And failure is just the building blocks, right? But
Yes.
now, as an adult, I have more, or 30 since we used that before. Uh, I love whenever I feel scared of something. I'm like, okay, why? We need to figure this
Right.
out. I
Right.
jumped right in and I sit there and I feel all these feelings, and I'm kind of, and then I
Yes.
map out. I'm very analytical. Like, okay, which environment am I in? Who am I
Hmm.
with? What
Hmm.
happened? What is happening? What's going on for me to remember next time I am in a situation that maybe I need to perform, for example.
Right.
What can I do differently? Which then goes into what you said earlier as well. Like, this period of time, you did this, that's
Yep.
finished, that's done. How can you
Hmm.
then change it into continuing this thing that you like, but from a different perspective? And I
Yes.
do that with like the micro things. Okay, what do I need to change to be happy in here? And that
Yes.
takes some time.
It does. But you know what? You just touched upon something really interesting too. Is it's the long game. You talk about not being good in school, but understanding, and being
Mm.
able to conceptualize and retain certain things later. Um, Sometimes it is the long game when it comes. I think with most things in life, it's the long game. And how can you really define something as a failure if you're looking so closely to the situation? You're not looking on the broad spectrum. I could have
Mm.
looked at myself at 28 and said, damn, I failed. Like, I didn't become a super massive pop star like Taylor Swift. Or I can look at myself and say, that was an amazing, decade and a half. um I'm really excited for what's to come from that, and so much has come from that. And I'm sure you can
Mm.
relate to that, in
Oh,
your life, where
absolutely.
as an artist, right, as somebody who really puts themselves in illustrations and uses their own struggles and their own stories to broaden the
100%.
horizons with that. Like, you understand.
A good
So
example of that is my short animated movie I Am Dyslexic. Like, that's how I kind of got out into this field in the first place. My intention with
yeah.
it was just, I want to express myself, and then I'm done with dyslexia. That didn't happen. I did
Yes.
express myself, it worked very well, but now I don't make as much animated movies anymore. I'm not saying
Hmm.
I'm not going to do it, but I have found other interest within that interest, so to say. I
Yes.
rather want to do illustrations than a movie, for example.
Yeah.
And it's just the same thing from different perspectives. But I could have, and I did sit down, and I'm like, I'm so tired of drawing. I lost my passion for drawing.
Yeah.
I have failed. My long-term
Hmm.
dream as a child was to live from drawing.
Right.
Now I can't do that. But yes, now I am doing it, just
Yes.
differently than I thought it would be,
Right.
and I
You
have
and you
much better life.
realize, yes, and you realize that the the scope of what we think when it comes to certain things in life is so much
Yeah.
broader than what we initially thought. So that's a beautiful thing.
But how in terms of you, how have you had at certain point, I'm sure you have, where you this needs to happen now and you're afraid that it doesn't happen now? What
Oh yeah.
have you done in order to get out of that immediate it needs to happen now mindset?
For me, it's a lot of it has actually been my training, or my therapy with OCD,
Mm,
learning how to deal with discomfort.
mm,
That's been so helpful on the broad scheme of things with my life, because it's a very uncomfortable feeling to want something now and not have it.
mm.
Just like it's when you want to have relief from anxiety right now, but you can't find it, and you can't get past it. You have to sit in the mud, and a lot of it is learning how to sit in the mud. There's
Mm.
no quick, I think, quick fix to achieving something that you want to achieve that really lasts long term. I mean, we live in this is the skewed, part of it right now, is that we live in a very instant society, especially with social media, where you can blow up overnight. And people will often see that and think that that is a rule of life subconsciously, but it's not. I think most success that you see comes from a lot of things you don't see.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's a that's this just that's a universal
Mhm.
truth. And I think especially with the young kids growing up right now, if they see that, they may end up disappointed in the long term, because they may not realize that before the internet, everything took longer. And that's been the way it's been for thousands and thousands of years. So for me, it's been learning to sit with the discomfort. And how do I sit with discomfort? Trying not to push it away. And that's extremely hard. It's extremely
Mm.
hard to sit at your desk doing the same thing every day sometimes, but there's a greater good. Um, a lot of it comes down to having a daily schedule. I think sticking to something, like exercise. This is
Mm.
just, I know it's really boring stuff. Everybody talks about it,
This
but it's
it
true.
works.
It does. Yeah. Keep yourself healthy. Exercise. Think about your life as a whole, rather than just this, school is my life, or sports are my life, or music is my life. You have health, you have friends, you have, hopefully, you have talents. Yes. You have other things in your life that you can nourish and continue to nourish, because
Mm.
I think, when you can look at your life as a whole rather than just a section of it, it's very important to be able to sit with that discomfort in that specific section, rather than thinking your whole life is uncomfortable right now, which it can
Wise
be,
words.
but you know what I mean? It's just a
Oh,
shift in
absolutely.
perspective. Yeah.
That reminded me of a few things. One,
Hmm.
I had an experience where I actually did push my frustration away until I was like, okay, I had to deal with it. And
Yes.
I remember telling myself, okay, one side of myself gonna have full panic mode, the other
Yep.
side gonna observe.
Yep.
And I will never forget this amazing feeling. It was horrible in the moment
Yeah.
of this. I made an illustration about it actually. I call it lightning bolt, something like that. Because so every nerve in my body was on full blown electricity shock mode. But I was observing it and I was listening to every aspect of it. And I learned so much about myself.
Hmm.
And I used that later on to be like, oh, I can feel that this is going into that aspect. I need to sit down, listen, meditate, or whatever,
Hmm.
because now I need to listen to myself.
Yeah.
So it's so underrated, acknowledging that, okay, I need to step out. It doesn't matter what's going on in external. I step out, take a breather, then I can come back when I'm ready. And I think,
Hmm.
the expectation, there's so many expectations, especially school, work, etc., and relationships even.
Yep.
What other people want us to do. But what do we want to do? I
Hmm.
had this thing for years, right? I love Pokemon. I love making my own Pokemon. And I always said to myself, oh, when I grow up, I'm going to spend time making Pokemon, etc.
Yep.
But I never did. And my passion for drawing came from those creatures. So when I started to lose interest in drawing, I realized, okay, but let's reclaim it. Let's take it back,
Yes.
making it my own. I did all this art for other people, and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But what does it mean to me? And that goes into what you said earlier, like your interest, your passion is how you relax. Like I get a specific type of high when I create these creatures, that if I feel like a failure, for example, I get the sense of success when I make them for myself, not for anyone else, just for
Right.
me. And what
Yes.
is, you who listen to this, what is your escape from external world? What is the thing that makes you joy, that comes from within? It can be anything.
Yeah.
Absolutely
That's so
anything.
true. And
But
if
you
you
need to
think
find
back
it.
to that,
Go
yes,
on.
but if you think back to that when you first started creating Pokemon for yourself,
Uh,
that was out of pure joy to just do it, right?
yes.
And then somewhere along the way, it cycles into, oh, I could do this as a career. I could be famous. I could do this as whatever it is. And then you lose really that first step of you just enjoying it. I think a lot of it has to really come back to undoing all of that
Yes.
and getting back to that groundwork of what was it like when I first started? What did it feel like? What was going through my mind? It was just happening. A lot of it's just happening, and then we start to assign roles and we start to assign rules and goals, and sometimes that can really, pull us away from the true intention of it.
Yes.
But you're
And then
right.
we start to listen to other people too. It mixed and
Yeah.
becomes bad. And
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time with, people talking about artists and always, oh, well, you need a backup plan, and the struggling artist, the starving artist. Like it's a very talked about tale, and I think that there can be some truth to it, but at the same time, I think a lot of it has that stigma because it's hard not to listen to other people sometimes. It's hard not to let them get in your head.
yeah.
And it's up to the artist to find out really why they started in the first place. And that's different for everybody. It's a different journey for everybody. But sometimes the initial reason why you started is sometimes all you really need.
And in addition to that, the uncomfortability to sit in a path that is not walked in, because people always say, oh, no, you can't do that. Oh, you're stupid for doing that. How dare you do that? But then you do it. Yes, it might take some time. But then eventually they say, like, how did you do that? Because you dared to do the thing that no one else wanted to do.
Yes.
Because you're you doing your own thing.
Exactly.
So, and I think that's a massive especially I know within learning differences, they're so afraid of what other people think about them and the expectation from parents and schools, etc. What do people think about me? I can't do this because I have dyslexia or ADHD, etc. Yes, you can. Yep. But why do you allow their non-understanding of, they don't know who you are. They are not inside your head. What can you do to take a step back? Because there's so much stuff going on, especially with the phone and everything today as well. All people screaming out of your phone, right?
Yeah.
Take a break.
Yes.
What do you want?
Yes.
Is biology that important to you if you want to be this or this or this, for example?
Right. For me, I found that play has been a huge aspect in my healing, and I see it all the time. I mean, I see the way my cats, their natural instinct is to play. The squirrels, I see bunnies chasing each other. I see the trees waving at me. Like, I know it might sound super, hippie to a lot of people, but I think that's the nature of what we are at the end of the day is play. You're playing a role. I'm playing a role. We're playing parts in society. I think that when we take things way too seriously, it kills the joy of what you're doing. And I can tell you that firsthand from music. Like, I never thought that I would be at a point in my journey, at any point in the journey, where I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. But I've hit that point so many times. I kept going. I still hit it now from time to time. But that's when I need to take a step back and say, why don't you just make something for fun? Stop making something for the internet. Stop making something for other people. Just make something for fun. Or just pick up the guitar and go outside. And that's sometimes where I feel the best.
Yeah.
You know,
It's just
that's
for
a reset.
You. That's beautiful. And I relate to so many levels on that. But it's something you have to, because you could have given up, you know.
Yeah.
But to me, I often say this, yeah, you can give up and then you can get a normal job and you can do all these things. And then what? Will you be more happy?
Right.
You know?
Well, you'll have more goals. You'll be like, all right, now I want to, make this amount per year. And now I want to climb to this ladder. And then you're always going to change paths and have new goals. It's just about which goals do you want to endure? Which ones do you want to stick in the mud for? And like we said earlier, you may not have been ready to throw in the towel at, 20 years old, and then you throw in the towel, change careers, and then at 28, you're miserable again. Yeah. Or you end up sticking it out till 28, and then you're ready to change lanes, and you're like, you know what? Like, I want something else in my life right now. I want to change directions, and that's different. But I really think it comes down to throwing in the towel and completely cutting that part out of your life before you're really ready to do so.
You could argue, though, that sometimes that will come back later, if one allows it. But that goes back to the long-term game again, right? Like,
yes,
you have a long life. You can do so many things. Why are you allowing yourself to get stuck in this specific moment of time? And not only that, you're dragging it with you. You're collecting all these things. I often say to people, look behind yourself. Why are you carrying such a heavy load? Can you drop some of them off? Because you have a long path to go. If you're going to carry all of these things, I will be tired too. Are you sure you want to keep them, kind of thing? Yeah. And I often talk to myself in the mirror and be like, okay, I see you. What can you do, Mads, about this? Yep. I'm responsible for changing things. I'm responsible for dealing with these things that I, for some reason, want to carry. Why do I carry them? I think we need to put in there, if it's through yourself or with someone else that you trust, just to express it. And sometimes that's all that needs to be. I have a fear of this, and then it's done because you expressed it.
Yep, you labeled it, really.
Yeah.
I think too, we talk about careers and different paths and stuff. I don't know if it was the same for you, but at least growing up, our parents, a lot of my friends, our parents had one career or maybe two careers. They got into something at like whatever, 18, 22, and then they stayed there for 30 years.
Yeah.
And so I think seeing that model, our grandparents too, seeing that model for a lot of people can be very discouraging, because now we live in a world where that doesn't really happen as often. Most of my friends have switched careers 2-3 times, jobs 2-3 times since turning 21. And, we just turned, most of us in my friend group, are in our 30s now. It's a different world. It's a different landscape. It's a different roadmap, and it's okay.
Good and bad.
Change is okay. Yeah. That's the thing too. So I think we try to hold on to things longer than we need to.
And I think just to shoot in there, because what you're talking about now is very important for parents to hear as well, because many have the expectation that they're going to do the same, your kid's going to do the same thing as them. But that's a different landscape. You can't. There's a different world. And I speak to loads of children that feel stuck when my mom wants me to be this or this. I don't want to do it, but that's a good job.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not a parent. I can't speak from that perspective. The closest thing I can speak to is that I'm a parent to a cat, and she is my whole world. And I can tell you I'll do anything and everything for her. So in a way, I think that parents, at the end of the day, most of them hopefully just want the best for their children. And they think that, by saying, hey, you should go into this, that, they want them to have security, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have happiness or joy. That doesn't necessarily mean that security is really going to lead to anything fulfilling for them. And you've lived your life. Your kids are living theirs, and that's the big thing that I think most of us have to keep in mind. And if I become a parent, I'm going to have to remind myself of that, because I did my own journey and I'm doing my own journey, and my parents did their own journey. My brother's doing his. And so I think that's a very hard thing to continue reminding ourselves of, but I think it's necessary, because not one size shoe does not fit all, and it
100%.
never has.
Which the system very much prefer that everyone fits into the same shoe.
Right, and that's boring.
Yeah, it is. It's boring, but it's also, I understand from a technical point of view, but at the same time, it works on paper, but it doesn't work in reality, because people are so different, and even fear of different things. Or like, we have similar diagnoses, but they're completely different ways they are acting out.
Right.
And it surprised me. I travel a lot around Norway to speak about these things, and teachers doesn't learn anything about this. Parents doesn't know about. Oh yeah, but that's what it says in the book. I'm like, yeah, but your child doesn't work that way.
Right.
Your child needs this thing, and most of the time that talk is enough for them to understand. Okay, I have a different perspective. But then you have these that put, and you touched on it earlier, they put their own failures, their own ambitions onto the child. And it's then you're setting up failures then, because no matter what you do, you will always see yourself in the child.
Yes.
Why are you allowing them to do the same mistakes as you are doing?
Right. I think it really comes down to being aware.
Yeah.
Right. And
absolutely.
if you're not aware that that's you trying to live out your dreams all over again, or you trying to avoid something that you didn't face, or whatever it is, it doesn't even have to be your son. Like, I'm very protective of my brother. Like, I've been guilty of giving him advice, or really like rooting him in a certain direction, because he's younger than me, because I'm afraid of what that outcome was for me. And it's like, no, he's a different person with a whole different set of skills. He's got different ambitions. He's got ADHD just like I do, and dyslexia. He's got dyslexia too. And the thing about it is, his situations played out very much different than me. But even as an older brother, I felt that same feeling of like, oh, I just want the best for him. I want to protect him all the time. And that's my brother, and even in that relationship, I think sometimes things can get a little bit dicey, because you personalize it, and you really start to put yourself in their shoes, which can be great. But at the same time, you're not walking their path. You need to let them walk their path.
I always say that we have a version, or let's say your brother, for example, you have a version of your brother in your head. That's my brother.
Yep.
But that's not your brother. That's your version of your brother. Your brother could be totally different.
Yeah.
I'm the person often do the opposite of things that people think I would have done. I like to challenge people, but I also think very differently.
Yes.
Which means that a lot of people get annoyed with me, or almost angry, like, how dare you do this? You shouldn't be doing this. I'm like, well, you never asked, I've always done this. I just haven't talked about it to you.
Right.
And that's so important. People can only see you from their own perspective of you. And if you break apart from that, people get angry because you're not behaving the way you should. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's their own expectations, and that's their own safety net, really. It's scary to think about knowing somebody, or like, having somebody close to you in your life, and realizing that they may not be the picture that you have of them in their head. That's a very scary, disassociative thought pattern. And it's true, though. I mean, how many different versions of you live in everyone's head? And who are you then? Really?
Exactly. Who are you? And we ourselves are setting us up for that as well, because we put on different masks, right?
Right. Right.
You could be, master have been often used in terms of learning a lot and coping, etc. But we all do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think it's necessary because you need different friends for different things.
Mm-hmm.
But if you lose yourself in changing your behaviors to suit whoever you are with, who are you then?
Right.
Because then it's the opposite, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
cannot be yourself. And if you can't be yourself, you're actually failing your little child inside.
Yeah. Yeah. That's who you are.
Yeah.
You know, that's who you've always been. And what's different about the child inside is the child inside didn't have these expectations. The child inside didn't have those voices. He just or she just did what they wanted to do. And that's just being present. It's just joy. Everything else is just noise. It's just added on to the layer of the cake. And I had such an existential crisis about that. You know, at 25, when I turned 25, my whole world turned upside down. And part of having OCD, I had existential OCD as a subtype of my OCD. And it was extremely scary because I didn't really have a sense of identity, and I kept questioning myself, like, who am I? Like, if I'm not my hair changes. If I'm not my career, if I'm not my name, who am I? And it was a really hard 6 months, and I had brutal therapy for it. And it comes down to, well, maybe you'll never know who you are, or maybe you will. But the one thing that you can count on is when you let go of trying to hold on to this image of yourself or everyone else's image, all you have is just your awareness in the present moment. And that's it. That's all you really have. So it's very liberating to be able to get to that point, but it's scary at the same time because you want to be able to have something to hold on to. You want to have something, to do.
Question then.
Yeah.
Because, I agree with you, but also you can also get trapped in the mindset of, okay, I am this diagnosis, for example, and that's me. But that too can be very limiting because then you say, like, I am dyslexia, for example.
Right.
Yeah, but what is dyslexia then? If you are dyslexia, is that everything of you? And loads of people think that. I always say, like, this is dyslexia. This is you.
Yes.
Will you allow this to be all that you are?
Right.
And it's, many people do. And I think today labels are so popular that if you don't label yourself in all these different ways, you are no one.
Right.
But when we were younger, I don't know how it was in America, but at least here, we didn't want labels. I have no labels. I'm nothing. I'm free. But now it's kind of like, oh, you're free if you have it within the label. Fancy.
I never thought about it. I never thought, like, oh, I am my OCD or my ADHD. Like, that's why my podcast is, please excuse my OCD. It's just like my brown eyes or my, hairy legs or whatever. Like, it's just a part of you.
Yeah.
And you're just the awareness of it. And that's really the way that I've been able to move forward with it, is like everything that I attribute to, like, me is just a part. It's just me being aware of it. It's me being aware that I have OCD and I got brown eyes and whatever. It's not me. I'm not like Tyler. That is my name. And it's just to not personalize everything so much to the point where you end up just stepping into the identity and losing every other part of you. Just like I said earlier about, don't zoom in too close. Sometimes you're too close, you forget that you have to stay healthy and eat healthy and exercise, and you have friends and relationships you have to nourish and continue to put work into as well if you want to live a life of fulfillment.
100%.
It's the same thing. Don't zoom in so hard.
I like that word. Don't zoom in too hard. Yeah, that's a good metaphor. I often say, in regarding to diagnosis, your diagnosis is a guide to understand one aspect of yourself, to how you can help yourself through whatever you're going through. It's not you, but it's a guide to help you. Choose wisely how you want to help yourself. So then the question becomes, okay, what do I need then? And like the awareness, like you're talking about, like what is around me? Who is around me?
Yep.
Why do I do the things I do? Like I remember I was 11 years old and I was like, why do I get told off for drawing in school when that works for me? I need to learn that. I learned through drawing. Why are you telling me off? I must be doing something right because
Right.
they don't want me to do it.
Yep.
And I think that's also like, what works for you? Are you willing to stand in that and being uncomfortable if you know that it works for you?
Mm-hmm.
If the answer is no, okay, what do you need to change?
Right. That
But
is
of
so
course,
true.
like you said also, if you're going too into that, like, oh, only me, nothing else, which I also did, I shut off everyone and I was like, no one can help me.
Yep.
Everyone is stupid.
Yep.
I'm alone. And it took so many years to kind of get out of that mindset of like, I am allowed to ask for help. Actually, it's good to ask for help
Yes.
because I am not alone.
It's strength.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you had help coming into this world. Somebody had to feed you. You weren't feeding yourself at 6 months old, you know, and at some point we just get this individualistic mentality, which I think can be important, but too much of it, I think everything really does come with balance. If you have to take a step back and realize that, hey, you know, I didn't get here. I don't ever believe everything is just a one person job. I think everything takes community, whether you realize it or not. So why is your mental health any different? Why is your career any different? Are your relationships any different?
Oh, I love
It's
that.
not, you know, it's just not different.
We are, by nature, we need other people.
Yes. Yes. And the sooner we realize that, the better off we'll be,
Yeah.
you know, in all forms of society, you know? So, um, when it comes down to, and I think because, you know, people should also understand why we cave in, and it's painful, you know, it's painful sometimes to open up. It's painful to, reach for someone or something and it not be there. It's painful to feel rejected. But if you shut off that pain, just like if you shut off that discomfort, it's going to show up somewhere else.
Yeah.
That pain's going to be in isolation. That pain is going to be in loneliness, you know?
Or physically. Sometimes
Yes.
our mental struggles becomes a physical issue. And then now it's kind of like, oh, it's treatable. No, the issue actually comes from you not taking action or actually taking care of yourself in some sort of way. And I see it again and again. It's, what are you suppressing and why are you suppressing it? And that could be a massive conversation in itself.
Yeah.
But you are responsible for yourself by the end of the day.
Yes.
But many people don't want to be it. But if you take responsibility, it sounds scary. It sounds like it will hurt a lot. But on the other side, it's bliss. Absolute bliss.
Yes. I agree with that. It's accountability.
It's accountability, but it doesn't mean that it's not work. Of course, it's a continuous work.
Right.
But if you allow everyone else to push you around, who are you? Of course you're afraid of things because you're not in control of things.
Exactly.
So
I love that.
You're responsible for your life.
Yes. Yes. Listen to Mads. Mads
Listen
knows.
to Tyler too. You know, you have said equally much important things as I have said here. And I think we really nailed the solution aspect of failure. And I think we need to wrap it up. Is there any last things you want to say regarding failure or stuff like that?
Failure is a perspective. You can change your definition of failure anytime you want. And it's also okay to change in general. It's okay to change directions. One of my mentors always told me, fail forward. You know, I like to think about it as just fall forward. You don't have to fail. You can just fall forward, get up, fail whenever you can, I think, and don't be afraid of it, but also realize that you get to define it and you get to change what you think failure is.
I have nothing to add to that. That was beautiful. Where can we find you, Tyler?
Thanks, buddy. You can find me everywhere: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube at Tyler Falcoa, Falcoa, and you can find my podcast everywhere on social media at Please Excuse My OCD.
We will have that in the description. And of course, we will also have links to Superpower Mentor or Superpower Consulting, and all information about us and what we do. To summarize it, we help individuals with variety of different diagnoses, and we want them to succeed. We want to see them achieve their dreams, and we support them in that. We don't fix them. We support them in whatever needs they have, and compensate between the parents and between the child. And sometimes even school might be involved there too, to make sure the child has the ability to take care of itself, but also take responsibility for themselves. Regarding myself, Mats Jan Ögård, which is my name, I am everywhere also, like Tyler. I'm on every single place you can find. And links to all of my social medias will also be in the description, and also be on the screen here for both of us. So thank you so much for watching and listening to us, depending on where you are. And thank you so much for coming, Tyler.
Thank you, Mads. Thank you so much.
Fail forward.
Fail forward.
Bye-bye.